There is no doubt that Yasser Arafat died of AIDS. Yasser Arafat died of AIDS. The Israeli intelligence knows that. It was reported on Arutz Sheva, which is a conservative website that was a radio show that they took off the air in Israel, even though it was a big radio show. The Bolshevik regime in Israel took them off the air. But it's a popular conservative website in Israel, and on other conservative websites, Israeli intelligence there's no question that they know that Yasser Arafat died of AIDS. All of his illness is consistent with AIDS. The fact that the hospital, the so-called Mercy military hospital in France, the French put him in a military hospital to give him the best of treatment, and then they gave him a big honor guard when he left. Those filthy, slimy, low-life serpents, they were always cowards and serpents, and they still are. Yimach shmam v'zichram to them. The French will not divulge what he died of, and the PLO terrorists won't tell us what he died of, which is also consistent with someone dying of AIDS. They try to cover it up. They try to hide it. Yasser Arafat was a notorious homosexual pervert and a pedophile. All his life he was a homosexual pervert and a pedophile. When Yasser Arafat was in the 1970s an agent for the Soviet KGB, he frequently would visit, in fact several times a year, would visit Eastern European communist bloc countries like East Germany, Romania, Poland, and Hungary. And the local KGBs in those countries, the Polish KGB, the Romanian, because those were all Soviet-occupied countries in those days. The local KGBs, the Polish KGB, the Bulgarian KGB, the Hungarian, Romanian, and the East German KGB knew that when Yasser Arafat, the Arab Hitler, comes to visit, they had to supply him with young boys. He would have young boys and have sex with young boys in these East European communist bloc countries. Books have been written about him by heads of the KGB. In Romania, for instance, wrote a book about him saying, "Never have I seen so much filth and blood in one man." And he said that every time he used to shake hands, well, first of all, Arafat used to kiss him. Arafat kisses everybody he sees. He used to say, when he used to kiss me or even shake my hand, he said, I immediately had to run out the minute I could and take a shower. He said, I felt so disgusted being near this creature. And that's what he wrote in his book. Because he knew what Arafat was, he knew the type of slimy things that he did. He also, of course, had long-time sexual relations with his bodyguards and with other PLO Nazi terrorists. He molested and attacked young boys who were training, young Arab boys who were training in the Fatah terrorist camps. They have a program called the Boy Cubs, the Terrorist Cubs, where they train young boys, 8, 10, 12-year-old boys, to be future terrorists. And this is part of Fatah, which is the Abu Mazen Yasser Arafat terrorist gang. And Fatah, by the way, means conquest. And by the way, Abu Mazen, who is now going to be the new leader, apparently, of the PLO terrorist areas, is being called a moderate. He's the head of a group called Fatah, Conquest, a terrorist organization that has murdered thousands of Jews, hundreds of thousands of Lebanese Christians, hundreds of Americans. He's a moderate, Abu Mazen, even though he was there ordering the murder and the attacks just along with Yasser Arafat, but he's a moderate mass murderer. Anyway, we'll get to that hopefully in a few moments. Arafat had sex with the young Arab boys and attacked the young Arab boys in these camps. And there were even instances, there was one instance where the parents of one of the young Arab boys caught Arafat attacking their 10-year-old son and said, what's going on here? What is it? And they said, no, the president, you should be honored that he's doing this for President Arafat. And those parents, by the way, and the boy were never seen again. They've been missing. I mean, obviously they were killed because they didn't want people who complain about it. You can't complain about something like that. Arafat was a homosexual and a pedophile. And even when he was a student in the university in Egypt, he was a pedophile. He used to bring young boys to his student dormitory, and none of his fellow Muslim students objected, because this is an acceptable part of Muslim culture. It's an acceptable part of Egyptian culture. Pedophilia, homosexuality, all types of perversion, it's perfectly acceptable in Muslim culture. The Prophet, quote-unquote, Muhammad, the founder of the Nazi Islamic religion, was a pedophile. He married Aisha when Aisha was 6 years old. And he had sex with her. It says he had sex with her when she was 8 years old. The angel Gabriel came and told and revealed that it's time for him to have sex with Aisha. The angel Gabriel was always around to reveal to Muhammad when it was time for him to do his perverted things. Anyway, so the founder of their religion married a 6-year-old girl. It says that he was getting aroused when she would sit on his lap when she was 3 years old. And it says that he had sex with her, he slept with her when she was 8 years old. This is the founder of Islam. Can you imagine a religion founded by a psychotic piece of garbage like this? I mean, this is unbelievable. So, of course, in the Muslim world, it's perfectly acceptable to be pedophiles. In fact, the United Nations, the United States and some other countries, the United States, Israel, and some other countries wanted to pass a law against pedophilia protecting the rights of children in the United Nations. It was stopped by the Muslim countries. The Muslim countries said, "What? You're insulting our culture. This is a part of our culture. We always have sex with children. We marry children. You're insulting our culture. There's nothing wrong with it. You're insulting our culture." They are pedophiles. They're murderers. They're rapists. And they think there's nothing wrong with it. In Cairo, in Egypt, just to show the culture that Arafat came from, the homosexual culture, which is why he died of AIDS eventually. In Cairo, you have what you call the pole boys of Cairo, where young boys sit on poles. Thousands of young Egyptian boys sit on poles. There are rows of them sitting on poles, putting poles up their behinds, in order to prepare themselves for anal sex, in order to train themselves to be able to have anal sex. I mean, this is the type of monstrous, perverse, satanic culture of the Arabs and the Muslims. This is what they're all about. And then they say they're men of God, and they're religion, and prophets, and imams, and what, are you kidding me? Just disgusting. That animal from California who converted to Islam and went to fight and got a 20-year prison sentence, I forgot what his name was. You remember what his name was? No. That animal from California, his father was a homosexual who left his mother for the owner of a homosexual bathhouse in San Francisco.
Was it Lynn?
Lynn, I think it was Lynn, yeah. Lynn's father was a homosexual. Anyway, he became a Muslim. He decided to become a Muslim. And in the mosque, they were having sex with him. And the imams and the so-called Muslim holy men were having sex with him as soon as he went to Pakistan and Afghanistan. I mean, can you imagine, in their mosques they do this? And their imams do this. I mean, it's such an evil religion. They are so satanic and so disgusting. I mean, this is their culture. A culture of homosexuals, perverts, deviants, rapists, pedophiles, incestuous. 50% of all marriages in the Arab world are between half-brothers and half-sisters. 50% of all marriages. That's why Suha Arafat has one eye going here and the other eye going there. You know, I mean, she was Miss Palestine. She was so beautiful. You should see some pictures. I urge you to look at pictures of her on the internet. I wish we had a picture of her here. She's Miss Palestine. You know, she was supposed to be the most beautiful one they could find for Arafat. You know, I mean, it's just unbelievable. No wonder Arab men attack camels. Rape was codified as acceptable in Islam because Muhammad wanted to do rape, and he even lists the names of the women that he raped. All these things are acceptable. So Arafat, being a true Muslim, had AIDS, and he died of AIDS. And look at how the whole world, what an evil world this is, and how evil the media is. No one mentions this. No one even hints about this. Do you ever hear any hints about this in any of the reports? Now, if a famous person dies and there is a rumor that that person died of AIDS, I guarantee you that rumor will be reported on everywhere. If an actor, an actress, or an American politician, or anybody famous dies, or a billionaire, or a big business person dies, and there's a rumor they died of AIDS, or there's a rumor of anything else about them, I guarantee you the rumor will be reported on, even if it's only a rumor. Here, it's not a rumor. The reporters in Paris knew that he died of AIDS. They know that he died of AIDS. Not only don't they report on it, they won't even hint about it. They won't even say rumors. They won't even say anything. They won't even hint about it. Look at how they're covering up for this slimy, mass-murdering animal. Look at how anti-Israel and pro-Arab and anti-American the news media is. Look at how vicious the American news media is, what traitors they are.